Welcome to the Wind Up. And today we are going to be reflecting on a show we saw last weekend, which was An Idiot's Guide to Wine by Merrick Watts.
And it was really funny, which is why you're laughing already. That's fantastic.
I'm Trent.
And I'm Jason. And we're two guys, we're unfiltered and unapologetically unprofessional on this wine journey. And so you'll hear more from us. The slogan that we have for our show is drink more, try more, and learn more.
Okay, so first thing is what I've been drinking. So for me, the other day I cooked up a Blue Bay mussels with a white wine sauce with eschalots, tomatoes, and garlic for some friends. And in terms of how I thought about matching this one, I went for a 2021 Coldstream Hills Chardonnay. So it went fantastically well with it, considering I actually used it to cook the mussels itself.
Beautiful.
And it was rounded citrus, grapefruit, mineral with a bit of acidity as well. So that worked a treat and a good recommendation for anyone here that wants to try that. Simple recipe, great wine, easily accessible from my local vintage sellers for $25.
$25, that sounds like a bargain. Actually, I want to try that. I've seen it quite often.
Yeah.
Something worth trying.
Okay, so in terms of the reflections, you kick off?
Yeah, so this week we're doing something a bit different. We were fortunate enough to watch Merrick perform at what was the name of the place again? It was some place in Surrey. The Grand Electric. And
Surrey
he was
Hills.
doing the Idiot's Guide to Wine. So Trent and I and another good friend of ours were able to attend. So we thought we'd reflect and share some of the few things that we picked up through the show, and then take it from there. So I can go first,
you go first.
And talk about what I'd seen. I thought it was a fantastic show. I know Merrick through the radio show, Merrick and Rosso, on Nova, and growing up, really been listening to him. So I knew he was a radio host. I knew he was a comedian. I did not know that he was into wine, and so to have this show was quite interesting. And there's probably three things I want to talk about. One, he's qualified. He's qualified in terms of wine. He did the WSET, which is the wine spirit.
WSET 3. Yeah.
WSET 3, yeah. So he's certified to level 3. Wine Spirit Education Trust. Yeah. And we had a good chat to him. He spent a lot of time with us after the show to kind of talk it through. And it was really, really useful and actually inspiring. It made me think about wanting to get the certification myself. So that's one thing. He's certified. The other thing I was thinking about, it was a great combination. So not only was he doing his comedian stand-up routine, we actually got to taste wine. There's multiple sets of wine that we were able to taste throughout the show. And he was informing and educating us throughout it. So the crowd was having a good time, having laughs. The wine helped us laugh even more. And then we learned quite a few things, some of that which we'll share today. And the last thing I learned actually wasn't on stage. It was in the toilet, which is an interesting place to learn something.
You went into the women's toilet, didn't you?
It was one of those mixed gender toilets. Is that what they're called? Where both the male and the female can go in. Yeah. It was confusing. I actually walked in and then walked back out because I didn't know what to do. I saw a female in there and I had to ask her, "Can I come in?" She said, "Yes, this is okay. You can enter." Anyway, I was in the cubicle doing my thing, and I happened to hear the cubicle next to me. And what the women were talking about, there was two women in the cubicle. It was one thing which was odd, but they were saying that, "Did you see that woman behind us? She kept on licking her lips at Merrick, and she really wanted him." Is what I was overhearing. So Merrick is a stud. Like the women want him. And then the other woman responded by saying, "Ashamed that she's married." So something else that I learned, Merrick's a stud. That was some of the things that I picked up.
I don't think I needed a woman to say that one. I think
you knew that already.
I knew that already.
All
just
right.
had that vibe.
Watch out, Merrick. Trent's going to chase you down. Yeah.
Yeah, just to build on that as well. No, I found it quite good. So we had 6 wines over the course. So they kind of pushed it out on trolleys, like the IKEA trolleys. Mm-hmm. Then it was up to the people to kind of pass it down the row for you to try the different wines. And the 6 wines that we had was a Riesling, Chardonnay, Rosé, Grenache, Shiraz,
We had a Pinot, didn't we?
And a Pinot.
And a Pinot.
That's it. Yeah. So I think there weren't spectacular $100 wines, but they were really good, representative of I think Australian wines. They're all in Yarra, Adelaide Hills, and I think it was really really good and interesting. And as we kind of went through it, he took a very idiot's way to kind of explain the wines, both about the grapes, the region, the history, and some facts about it, such as the Grenache, in Avignon in southeastern France, having kind of been there from when the Pope was there. Talk about was it the rosé being drunk by the Spartans back in the day, and that's what they drink, and that's the toughest of men, so it's not a girl's drink. So just bits of history that kind of like breaks it down and make it a bit more accessible to the idiots like us.
I remember he was talking about the charcuterie board. Is that how you pronounce it? Charcuterie board.
Too fancy for me.
Too fancy for me, but often he'd make references to Mel Genitalia on that board. Anyway, that's something else. So, anything else that you wanted to share from the
words,
show?
The words that kind of come to my mind when I thought about the show was, it was engaging, was funny, hilarious, witty, had his kind of crude sense of humor as well, and had a good sense of education to it as well. So, I thought it was a fantastic show. I had to give it a rating, probably like 8 or 9 out of 10. I thought it was the right mix that kind of suited all levels, from the idiots like us to maybe the ones that have done the kind of WSET education courses. So it was, I think it was a good balance between comedy and wine.
Completely agree. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well. Highly recommend anyone go if they have an opportunity to do so. You'll have a laugh, you'll learn some wine, you'll taste some wine. It's great.
Okay, and so for as part of the show, he started to kind of make us think about wine slightly differently in terms of pairings of food. And you would see in front of us today that we'll have some oysters with some chili and also the chicken twisties. Okay, so the two pairings that we want to try today is oysters with a slice of chili, with a cold Riesling in a shot glass, and just down it in one go. I said it's fantastic. They'll blow your mind. And the second one is?
The second one is Chicken Twisties, which I have to admit I don't typically have with wine, and honestly I haven't had in a while. But he said to pair that with a Chardonnay, and the Chicken Twisties will have a good pairing with that.
Okay, cool. So let's kick this off. Today we've got two types of oysters. I went to the fish markets earlier today. One is a Coffin Bay oyster, and the other one is a extra large Pacific Bay. I went for the kind of more salty one, also a creamy one, to see how they'll mix with the Riesling. And what Riesling are we trying it with today?
We're trying a Dr Loosen Riesling from Dan Murphy's. It was about $20. It was a 2017 Riesling. It was a Loosen Brothers one, which we'll get to have here. And we'll show it on screen, so it's on the camera, so that people can see it close up. Good purchase from Dan's.
Okay, let's try these oysters. So A and B. So let's try it. Let's try the A first.
So the Riesling's already in there. It's the oyster and the slither of chili.
Should we do it the same way? By eye, smell, and
taste? That's a good idea. That's how we tasted the podcast. So let's try via eye, and I'd love for you to describe what you're seeing right now, because it's not what we typically see.
It looks like a weird science experiment to me. I know something within a test tube with a slice of chili in it. So not the most appetizing thing that I've seen in my lifetime, but keen to try.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's have a go. Cheers, sir.
No, let's smell it.
Let's smell.
I can smell the chili come through. Again, I didn't know what chilies to buy. Again, there was a mix of chilies that was on the shelf, and one of them was like a habanero, which I've heard was, pretty damn hot. So yes. I carefully avoided that one.
Okay, so this is lower in the heatness scale.
The thing that I heard was that the bigger the chili, the less hot it is.
Okay. And this was a big chili. This was a big chili.
The even bigger chili is like a capsicum. It's meant to be a chili as well, right?
We should have gone capsicum. I have to say, as I'm smelling this, I feel very scared. I feel like it's going to be very.
So this could be quite funny, but I'll let Jason go first and let you down.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Let's give this a try. It's just it's a weird sensation when you're having a drink and then this thing just hits the back of your throat. It's a very, very odd sensation. Never felt that. And then the chili follows through. Right at the end, and it's got a bit of heat, but
it's not amazing for me. I don't know if it's the Riesling or the oyster or whatever.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm not blown away by a special combination in any way.
Yeah.
I would not go out and try this again.
I think I was overthinking about that oyster hitting the back of my throat.
And then it hit it.
Like a big glob of phlegm, kind of hitting the back of the throat. That's how I felt.
It was an odd sensation, yeah.
Then it just kind of went down and I forgot to chew it. So.
Yes. And is that how we're meant
that's
to?
That's
straight
how it
down.
was. The thought of a shot. So let's try the second one.
Yeah.
And this time try and chew it. And chili wasn't that hot, luckily enough.
So you can see there, that's a bigger oyster. I can't wait for that to go down. So
let's try it. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's not laugh, sorry, we'll...
How was that?
I couldn't. It
Stuck in your throat.
It didn't fit in my mouth. It's just this. I needed to open my mouth bigger to let it go down, and
yeah, for me, I got the oyster shell coming through on it as well. So it added an extra layer of complexity to the oyster. And the Riesling.
That was unexpected. I feel like maybe if we chop it up a bit more, it'll be easier to pursue. But the flavors, personally, I don't get the combination. I don't.
But then that Merrick is a funny guy as well. It could have been just a practical joke that he could have told.
Yeah.
And go, hey, look at these Muppets. They'll try this. Riesling with an oyster in a shot glass with a slice of chili.
Do you think... He mentioned it should be freezing cold. Do you think that has anything... Would that change it in any way?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No, not at all. I don't understand it. But it was worth the try. And Merrick, if you're listening or watching, let us know if we've done anything wrong here. Keen to represent what you've put out there. So that was interesting. Also a good laugh, yeah.
Corkscrews out of 10?
Oh, fuck. Is it the wine or is it the pairing combination? We haven't had the wine on its own, right? So
I don't know. I'm just thinking a shot glass together. It's a bit...
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, to be honest.
But is the Corkscrew rating on the wine on its own, or is
everything?
It everything? Yeah. Okay.
Combination.
I'm giving this a 2. A 2 out of 10 Corkscrews. It's good for a laugh. I'd love to see the footage on this. But the chunkiness of the oyster and the flavors themselves, it's not a match made in heaven in my mind. What about you?
I think I wouldn't go that harsh. I'd probably say like a 4 or 5 out of 10.
Okay. All right. So you love that feeling.
Or something getting stuck down my throat.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Haven't had much practice, but...
we learn something every time. Perfect.
Okay, next one. Let's do it.
So the next one, I'm going to move these to the side. I think I've still got an oyster stuck in the throat there. That's not going to disappear. Okay, the next combination that we're going to have is chicken twisties. And like I was saying, I haven't had these in quite some time. When's the last time you had a chicken twisty?
Oh, probably last decade. Is probably when I had it, yeah.
All right.
Actually, probably a bit longer. High school, maybe.
And even then, I was a cheese twisty kind of guy. The people that like chicken twisties, I'm worried about them. I don't know.
I get it. I did like chicken twisties.
Yeah?
I liked Cheetos, and I now like kettle honey baked ham.
Now you're talking.
Well.
Now you're talking.
Like I've grown up.
Yeah. Thank goodness for that. As we talk about the oysters in our throats. So we had the chicken twisties, and what Merrick recommended was that we have it with a Chardonnay. And so, like we were saying, we have the Yering Station Chardonnay 2017 from Yarra Valley. and we're going to give that a go. So
so I got this one from the cellar release at Dan Murphy's. So I tend to kind of go hunting around there whenever I visit. And for this one, I got it for $35. So that's 6 years worth of aging at 35. I think pretty good. And Yarra's always delivers on a good Chardonnay. So let's see.
So this one we could probably better taste and test on the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So let's go through with the eyes first, and I'll bring it up to the camera just so you can get a sense of what that looks like.
Very light, straw, pale colour.
Yeah, touch of green, but quite pale. On the nose. Have I already been eating a chicken twisty? I don't know about you, but I get a roast chicken kind of scent from this. Is that me or? What do you get?
I get it. I think it's that kind of slight creaminess, butteriness.
Yes. Yeah. It is quite buttery, actually. All right.
Which is that the fermentation, right, with Chardonnay they always do. I think call it malolactic fermentation, where they change it into lactic acid, which is like milk, hence the butteriness of it.
Oh, that's the first time I've actually understood that. Yeah. So the fermentation gives it that body.
Yeah.
Because it's that milky texture. Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
Lactose. Get it?
Lactose.
Yeah.
Got it. And so let's taste with the mouth.
Yeah. It's a very easy drinking Chardonnay for me. Doesn't have big length. It's probably a lighter version. I think that's generally the trend in the Yarra as well. It's not the kind of big Chardonnays that kind of hit you. It's probably a bit more restrained. Is it high altitude maybe, or pick earlier? So it still has a kind of Chardonnay and elements of it, but there's still a bit of that creaminess, but not overly done.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we opened this up, I couldn't really get it, but the butterness comes through, but it's not as intense as the traditional ones or really oaky kind of flavors.
Yeah, I was just saying, the other one I was trying to think about trying, because I'm thinking roast chicken, and when I make a roast chicken, I generally have the butter that I stuff underneath the skin that I roast off and has that big flavors. Not good for the cholesterol, but good in terms of taste. Yes. And I thought, do something similar. So I was going to get a Robert Mondavi Chardonnay, which is, again, big flavors, big butteriness, and whether that would kind of be like that butter that goes with the roast chicken.
Right. Sounds like a future episode we need to do here.
Future episode, but I think let's see with the chicken twisties how this goes.
Yeah, all right. So grab a big twisty, give that a crunch.
I hope this doesn't get stuck down my throat.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different sensation. Unless I pick the right one here. I think you need a couple in there. How many are you having?
I haven't had it for a while.
All right. So chicken twisty to me is chicken salt. Effectively. No?
Different.
What are you getting?
Chicken salt has a bit more savouriness to it. This one feels a bit more artificial, but it has that kind of salty, I don't know, is it umami? Can I say umami? Kind of flavours that kind of gets you hooked. And just like what I was doing, you start, it's like the Pringles ad, once you pop, you can't stop. So similarly, now with a wine.
And I've just gone right ahead and sampled it.
Can't hold back.
I can't hold back. On entry, it actually pairs quite well. To me, it enhances that chicken flavour that's coming from it. But at the end of it, through the finish, there's a bit of a sharp harshness. I don't know if you get that as well, but I'm not getting an enjoyable flavour right at the end. But on entry, I think it matches. It kind of intensifies the flavour.
I think with this Chardonnay, it might do it. Maybe again with the kind of the bigger, more buttery ones, maybe it would have done better against the chicken twisties. So I think that's probably where it's kind of falling short a bit, but
maybe it needs to be a more buttery kind of Chardonnay.
Well, Merrick did say that go big and get like a $50-$60 bottle of Chardonnay, But frankly, with the cost of living prices these days, it's probably too expensive. My wife wouldn't allow it. So.
Yeah, and if you were doing that with a packet of twisties, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. So, but worth the try. So let's give it a Corkscrew rating. What do you think of the pairing between the two?
Better than the oysters. I think the positivity in terms of this one is they kind of wiped out the flavour of that oyster kind of down my throat.
Yeah.
But then as it kind of grew, I think it was good. Probably like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than the oysters.
Maybe it's like the oysters. You have to kind of drop the twisty inside it, then it tastes better.
And we'll have it in the shot glass next time. I don't know if it's a pairing that I really want to go out and try again. To be honest, it works at the start. It kind of left me with an odd flavor right at the end. I'd give it a 5 out of 10 corkscrews for that pairing. But again, Merrick, I know you're watching. Let us know if we got this wrong. Maybe there's a better Chardonnay that we should have with it.
I think next time we should also try different pairings as well. If there's any kind of recommendations from anyone, like burger rings, as I say, the honey baked ham, kettle chips, Doritos is one of my favorites. Nacho cheese, fantastic.
Indulge, enjoy life. That's what it's all about.
Life's short, right? So sounds good. Okay. Anyway, we'll try this today. Just in terms of winding it up, oysters not so good. Chicken twisties, better.
Okay. Yep.
Better. Okay, so let's wrap it up. That's it from us on the wind up.
I think the other thing to consider is definitely go see the show, The Idiot's Guide to Wine. Merrick is a funny man, quite educational. Highly recommend it. Some different pairings, but we can take it from there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as we say here,
drink more, try more, learn more. Thank you.
Thanks all.